But before I get to that, I want to tell you that the aircraft that this guy worked on, he was a maintenance crew. He worked on F-4 Phantoms, great airplane, great airplane. He worked on F-111s. He worked on T-38s, F-4Gs, and then
Falcons.
the Falcon. That's right, the F-16 Fighting Falcon. Great experience, great career, great crew chief. Listen to this. Below the zone, the senior airman in 1978. Repeat performance as NCO of the quarter numerous times. So he kept winning that kind of award. He was a Commander's Award and Distinguished Graduate from the NCO Academy. And this is a guy, that's a sharp airman. And we lost him, the United States Air Force lost him after, what was it, 12 years of service? 12 years. And so now 13 more years go by. And he comes back into the Air Force in 2003. Let's see. You commit back into the Air Force. You went through the Security Forces Academy at 51 years old. All right. Deployed to Kuwait in 2004 and 5. Right. And then Academy School once again, distinguished graduate. Came back here to the unit and worked with the 916th Air Refueling Wing, and of course you do a lot of work with the 4th as well, because it's a total force. We all work together. So quite the accomplishments. But what I want to tell you about is Jimmy Guy, and how he, after all those years of serving in the United States Air Force, he gets out. Years go by, 13 years, I'm serving as a wing commander in Oman. And it was a very dynamic environment. We had operations going into Afghanistan. We were preparing for the war in Iraq. So we were building our unit to do that, and I had operations going into the Horn of Africa. So 3 theaters of operations, very dynamic, great mission, 3 types of aircraft, and a lot to talk about. So I would write home little newsletters. This is what's going on. I'm so proud of our airmen. This is what they are doing today. And this is what they've accomplished for our Air Force, and this is how we're going to win the fight. And I got a note back from from Tom. Forgive me, from Tom. I got a note back from Tom, and I said, he said, you know, Bill, I wish more than anything I could be doing what you're doing. I wish I could be serving. I wish I could be in that environment again. And I thought for a minute, well, wait a minute, Tom, how old are you? And he said, I'm 50 years old. I call him on the phone now, because after I pick up the phone, I say, you serious about this? He says, yeah, but Bill, I can't get it. I'm 50 years old. I said, let me worry about that. I said, the Air Force is woefully short of security forces. I can get you back in if you're willing to come into the Air Force Reserve as a security force member. He said, oh yeah, I'll do that. Absolutely. I said, all right, a couple other things. One, you were a tech sergeant when you got off active duty. You're going to have to come back in as a staff sergeant, take a step back. But he said, no problem, I'll do it that quick. Then he said, then I said, all right, well, here's the other one. Become a security forces member. You're going to have to go to Security Forces Academy. He goes, oh, that's easy, I'll do that. I go, let me tell you something. It's in Lackland, and the guys that are there are 18 and 19 years old, right out of basic training. 50 years old. You okay with that? He goes, absolutely. Okay, so I said, I'll work it. I called Mike Mungat, who was our recruiting service commander, and told him, here, I got a guy, Mike, that we could be real proud of. He will do good work for us. And they made it happen. And at 50 years old, he came back in. 51 years old, he hits tech school. All right, so now I finished my duty in the war, and I come back to the States, and my job, surprisingly, at that time, I was a reserve assistant or reserve deputy to the Director of Security Forces at AETC, our Air Education and Training Command. And the training school was kind of within our realm. And so I called him up at the Security Force Academy and says, hey, I'm going to come on over for a visit. While I'm there, I want to say hi to my cousin, too. He happens to be going through the course. And so I go over for an official visit and go around and see things at the unit. And then we go up to the classroom. And there's Tom in there. I'm going to take a pause every time I'm saying that from now on. There's Tom sitting in there with all these, probably 200 students out there, and you were working on some weapon. 240 Bravo. The 240 Bravo. And they were learning how to break it down and do all the things with it. Well, when I came in there, I was a colonel at the time. I hear this, room 10 shut, and everybody stands up. They're all standing there like this. They go, Sergeant Wells, front and center. And here comes this old man. All these kids right up to the front of the room. He goes up to the front and they go, you've got a guest out in the hallway. And so he says, okay, and he comes out, and there I am, and I gave him a big embrace. You know, there's my cousin, man. I hadn't seen him in a long time. I was so proud that he came back in. and we're giving a big embrace, and I forget there was an instructor going, what do you say? You tell them about this part, I gotta.
There was a tech sergeant walking by, and my cousin and I are hugging like this and just carrying on. All of a sudden, the tech sergeant walks and he's looking at my cousin. My cousin looked back. He said, "It's my cousin. It's all right." Kid looked at me. He goes, "Whatever you say, Colonel."
We got away with that. Yeah. It was great. All right, so he graduates from the Security Force Academy, goes back in, he's working with you guys, and doing great work from what I understood. And by now, I really felt somewhat of an obligation to make sure I take care of my cousin. And I said, I'm gonna help him get back to where he was, Master Sergeant, maybe beyond. Maybe Tom, I think we can get you to senior before you retire. But here's the things you have to do. And I would call him up, give him career advice. These are the jobs you have to go for. This is the places you have to go. This is how you have to make a progression occur in one's career. And I call him up once, and he says, "Well, I got tech. I made tech sergeant." I said, "Hey, that's great, man. That's great. Let's talk about master." He goes, "All right." So he listens and listens. I call him back a couple more times. After calling him 2 more times, he doesn't seem to be doing much about what I was suggesting to him. I said, and he finally said, "You know, Bill," he calls me Bill, there's no respect. He says, "You know, Bill, I really appreciate the fact that you want to take care of me, and you want to see me get back to master, maybe senior master. The fact of the matter is that's not what I want, and it's not why I'm here. I'm here because I want to serve, and I'm serving with the greatest airman you can ever imagine. I've got the best job in the United States Air Force." He says, "I teach academies for the unit here, and it's just real fun. If I got promoted to master sergeant, I'd have to leave. I wouldn't be able to do this job. I'm not interested. That's not why I'm doing it." Wow. I'm thinking, by the way, I stopped bothering him. I didn't call him anymore. I said, "All right, it's your career, it's your life. I understand." But I thought to myself, that's the kind of airman that I want to be. And I will tell you folks here today, if his name was Joe Smith, and I had talked to Joe Smith when I was in Oman, and he told me I'm 50 years old and I want to come back, and I helped him through that process and got him back into the Air Force, I'd be here for Joe Smith's retirement. It's beyond the fact that he's my cousin. It's very much the fact he's the type of airman I want to be. And so it's a real honor to be here honoring this special airman and this very special lady, Rosalind, who has been his wife for 39 years. And all this wonderful family. And to recognize their service to our country, the sacrifices that you've made in getting us to this point, and taking care of our units and our Air Force, and making our nation proud. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're going to catch on with the ceremony now and let him say a few things.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal and Retirement Certificates. Attention to orders. United States of America, to all who shall see these presents greeting. This is certified that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16, January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal to Technical Sergeant Thomas H. Welch for meritorious service 30 November 2010 to 10 January 2012. Technical Sergeant Thomas H. Welch distinguished himself in performance of outstanding service to the United States while assigned to the 916th Security Forces, 916th Mission Support Group, 916th Air Refueling Wing, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, North Carolina. During this period, the outstanding professional skills, leadership, and ceaseless efforts of Sergeant Welch directly contributed to the success of the unit, wing, and Air Force's mission. As non-commissioned officer in charge of range operations, Sergeant Welch provided training, weapons qualification to more than 15,000 active duty and reserve personnel with an outstanding 96% qualification rate, while assuring the certification of 6 combat arms instructors. Through his dedication and attention to detail as the base weapons custodian, Sergeant Welch maintained over 206,000 rounds of ammunition with a 100% accountability, which provide unparalleled support to the success of the Air Force. Furthermore, Sergeant Welch completed the unprecedented 2,546 weapons inspections in a 2-year period, in which he safeguarded the daily issuance of weapons and equipment valued in excess of $2.3 million. Lastly, the unparalleled leadership of Sergeant Welch resulted in a remarkable record of accomplishment. He drove his squadron's success in 2011 in the operational readiness inspection, where he provided vital input during the rewrite of the Air Force policy for combat arms training. His efforts resulted in an excellent rating for the 916th Security Forces Squadron. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Welch culminate a distinguished career of service to his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Given under my hand, 7 January 2012, James B. Hurley, Colonel, U.S. Air Force Reserve, Commander, 916th Mission Support Group.
Publish the order.
Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, Air Force Reserve Personnel Center, Buckley Air Force Base, Colorado. Special Order EK-0777, dated 3 November 2011. Technical Sergeant Thomas H. Welch, you are relieved from your current assignment, 916th Security Forces Squadron, 916th Air Refueling Wing, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, North Carolina, and assigned to the Retired Reserve Section and placed on the U.S. Air Force Reserve Retired List effective 1 January 2012.
Should they also do?
Yes, everybody can be seated. Thank you, General.
Take care of each other.
Certificate of Retirement. From the Armed Forces of the United States of America, to all who shall see these presents greetings. This is certified that Tech Sergeant Thomas H. Welch, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of January of the year 2012. Chief of the Air Force Reserve, Charles E. Stenner, Jr., Lieutenant General, U.S. Air Force, and Chief of Staff, Norton A. Schwartz, General, U.S. Air Force. Unfortunately, certificates from the President have not been issued as of yet. However, Sergeant Welch will receive a certificate from President George W. Bush. Certificate of Appreciation for service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America. Technical Sergeant Thomas H. Welch, I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration to those who will follow in your footsteps, and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. President George W. Bush. Every retiree receives a special retirement pin as a memento of their service. At this time, I'd like to ask Miss Jennifer Cartwright, Sergeant Welch's daughter, to pin his retirement pin on his lapel to symbolize his transition to retired status. The origin of the challenge coin in the military is a matter of much debate with little supporting evidence. However, it is widely accepted to be a source of camaraderie and morale and is given sparingly to members of the armed forces. Tech Sergeant Welch will receive his final military coin, the Air Force Retirement Coin, from General Welch.
That isn't his final military coin. I'm sorry. I've got to give him one too. One of the great things we get to do as general officers and senior officers is to have a coin. And in my case, this is my personal coin. It has my flag, my name on it, and it means a great deal to me to give it to one fine airman. I'll tell you what.
Mrs. Welch, will you please join your husband on the stage? The spouse does not wear a uniform, yet they serve their country. They do not acquire nor wear ribbons showing where they have been, yet they go. They do not ask for the duty they perform, yet they unwaveringly serve to the best of their ability. They serve, yet are not honored with trinkets or pieces of cloth showing their service. The burning candle signifies the lonely nights they have spent and that you have kept the home fires burning, a symbol of not being and no end, a symbol with no beginning and no end. The ring around the candle symbolizes the undying flame of love for your spouse. The image of a rose is for the unwavering devotion you have shown for your spouse and their service to their country. This medal is gratefully given to those that do not ask, those that stay on the home front so that their spouse can serve, for they also have served their country. Always remembered and never forgotten.
Before you read on to this, I just have to say a quick word, and that is that the medal we just presented is the spouse's medal, and she's going to take that away. It's a beautiful piece, so you should see it later. But I also just want to say that probably this is the, in my opinion, maybe the most important award given out in a retirement ceremony. Our service is a joy, and Tom, I know you agree with that. Absolutely. It's been a joy to be able to serve with you folks. But the sacrifices that are made are mostly felt at home, and we know that. And we appreciate so much the wonderful support that you've given all these years. You're very special, and this is a big and special reward, and we are so proud to be able to give this to you.
Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents the Certificate of Recognition to Jocelyn Marie Welsh for the commitment of numerous contributions that made positive impact to the nation's defense. Thank you for your support, which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Given this first day of January of the year 2012, Chief of Air Force Reserve Charles E. Stinner, Jr., Lieutenant General, U.S. Air Force, and Chief of Staff Norton A. Schwartz, General, USA. A bouquet of flowers symbolizes the enduring devotion a wife has for her husband through his years of service. We hope the bouquet will awaken fond memories and serve as a token of appreciation for your own sacrifice as a military spouse.
Try getting him away from him. of the traditions that I've noted is the flag is presented to the retiree. A lot of times, in turn, the retiree presents the flag to his mother. Unfortunately, my mother has passed, so I'm taking the opportunity to pass it on to my sister, Mrs. Kimberly McMahon.
Technical Sergeant Thomas Welch, you wore the badge of authority with dignity and restraint, and promoted by example high standards of conduct, appearance, courtesy, and performance. You sought no favor because of your position. You performed your duties in a firm, courteous, and impartial manner, irrespective of a person's color, race, religion, national origin, or sex. Technical Sergeant Welch, you gained the respect of the fellow airmen to whom you came in contact. As we witness today at this gathering of friends, family, and co-workers, this Security Police Badge, number 44223, hereby retired from the United States Air Force. Technical Sergeant Welch, you performed outstanding service in both the 916th Security Forces Squadron, 916th Mission Support Group, 916th Air Refueling Wing, and the 4th Security Forces Squadron, 4th Mission Support Group, 4th Fighter Wing, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, North Carolina, from 3 September 2003 until 1 January 2012. Your unwavering support to the mission, both at home and abroad, truly epitomizes service before self. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Lastly, we present this from the men and women of the 916th Security Forces Squadron and the 4th Security Forces Squadron. This shadow box is a representation of Technical Sergeant Welch's career. There's a reason why we call it a shadow box, because it's only a shadow of his career, a reminder of the portion of himself he has given to the United States Air Force. Therefore, as we who remain behind contemplate the Air Force's loss of this true leader, rest assured we will remember Technical Sergeant Welch's total dedication and loyalty. Tech Sergeant Welch, good luck. We will miss you, and may God bless you and your family. Sergeant Welch, on behalf of the entire 916th Security Forces in general, and Combat Arms in particular, we would like to present you with just a very small token of the wonderful dedication, the unwavering loyalty, and magnificent service you did in just the short time you were with us. Of course, for us it seemed like forever. I would like to read it to you, please. Presented to Technical Sergeant Thomas H. Welch in recognition of 20 years of distinguished service and valuable leadership in combat arms. Congratulations, sir.
So if I'm ever getting in trouble, I apologize. A few months back, we were soliciting volunteers for a deployment to Afghanistan, and Sergeant Welch courageously volunteered to services for us. Unfortunately, because he was needed here to support the Combat Arms mission, we had to decline.